Imagine paying $12 million for the best roster you could put together, spending about $2 million on one unit to start 0-2 after beginning the season as a top 10 preseason team. Now imagine that you were Florida State, because that is apparently what has transpired. Great scoop from Bruce Feldman at The Athletic, where he found that FSU's NIL strategy was to take a $12 million budget and spend $2 million on the front line, on the defense, only to end up with what is a remarkably bad front four. So, Florida State is not just 0-2. They're a bad 0-2 because you got losses to Georgia Tech and Boston College on your resume already. Engineers and the Jesuits. All right, cool. All right. But you won 124th in the country in run defense after two games. Allowing an average of 227 yards per game. And Georgia Tech did not rush for 200 yards against you. Ran for $190. You know who's doing all that running on you? BC. Them Eagles. Thomas Castellanos getting it in. Robichaux getting it in. This was a Florida State program that ranked number 4 in the country in sacks in 2023. And they can't get home at all in 2024. They had 46 sacks last season. It's really quite fascinating what has happened to that program. And I've got a few theories as to what has occurred, but I wanted to address the one that I thought was getting the most buzz, because as I'm looking about this, one of the reasons that I like doing this show and doing it as often as we do it is I love to be in dialogue with you. I love to be in conversation with folks that watch the sport and perhaps take on some of the questions that they have, add some insight into what they would like to know about the sport and why they want to know it. Sometimes this gets into, well, spaces like me asking, okay, what did you expect to happen? And while I'm thinking about this, you're paying probably a bunch of this money to DJ Uiagalelei as well. And DJ Uiagalelei is in the middle of quite the brilliant finesse. I mean, he got deals with Beats by Dre. He got deals with Celsius. He got deals with Circle K. And that hairline and that fade, I know some dudes with some receding hairlines and some widow's peaks who wondering what he might be able to do if he had DJ's hairline and his tapered fade. Would I be able to hit open receivers? I don't know. If I had 6'5", 250 and had all the tools. I talk a little bit about DJ with Quincy Avery, founder QB Takeover. Really great quarterbacks coach. He's worked with Jalen Hurts. He's worked with Josh Dobbs. He's worked with Deshaun Watson. He's worked with Tyrod Taylor. He's worked with a number of dudes that are absolute monsters in the college game and in the NFL. Guys that have had long careers. And one of the things that he pointed out to me is it was at this event where they invited all the great quarterbacks to come through, and all the dudes that you would expect to come through came through except DJ, because all of these guys wanted to prove that they were the best at their position. You don't really get a whole lot of opportunities to do that, where you get all these guys together in one room and you go duke it out. And that was kind of a insight into how competitive you are. But I thought we had something with DJ Uiagalelei because he went for 439, 3 TDs against Notre Dame in the plague year as a true freshman. I thought that dude was next. And Dabo Swinney had hit on quarterbacks for 3 straight cycles. We're talking Taj Boyd to Deshaun Watson. Well, no, excuse me. Taj Boyd, Deshaun Watson, Kelly Bryant to Trevor Lawrence to what we thought was going to be DJ Uiagalelei, and now it seems like he missed with Cade Klubnik too. And that's just how poorly your entire program can go if you miss on quarterback. And Mike Norvell is feeling that right now because he hit on Jordan Travis and thought that he could run it back rather quickly with DJ Uiagalelei. But what people had forgotten is A.J. Duffy was supposed to be that guy. And A.J. Duffy transferred to San Diego State. And Tate Rodemaker was supposed to be that guy. Wasn't that guy. He transferred to Southern Miss. Brock Glenn played a little bit, but he wasn't good enough last year for anybody to have any confidence in him. But DJ Uiagalelei has already piqued Florida State fans. and tweaked them to the degree that they were chanting for Brock Glenn's name at Doak Campbell. No disrespect to Brock Glenn, but I don't think that he ever expected to hear his name chanted at Doak Campbell from the bench. Now, you might think that, yeah, okay, once you get out there and you him and they talk about MVP and whatnot, cool, that might happen. That's a dream. We all got that kind of dream. But from the bench, man, I felt so bad for DJ. I felt so bad for Mike Norvell because you ain't no choice for you but to eat this. But that run defense, man, and what I'm starting the segment with, that was unexpected. Patrick Payton was supposed to be leading a bunch of dudes in the battle. Instead, they got King Finesse playing quarterback, got more finesse than Chase Daniel, got more finesse than Sam Bradford, and they got a defensive line that's just getting run on and run on and run on. I was thinking that perhaps it was that Georgia Tech's offensive line was just that good. They returned a bunch of dudes. They liked what they had. And they might still be. I mean, that's top 23 team, right? Number 23 in the country, 2-0. We'll see what happens against Syracuse. That might be a trap game for them. But it's not so much anymore that Georgia Tech is good. It's that Florida State is bad. So to the point about the defensive line, one of the comments that I saw is asking the question, is it possible that they, the defensive line, start because of the $12 million in NIL payments and not despite the headline suggests, why fight in the trenches when you already getting paid to get your bag? And I'm like, what you think this is, dog? Do you think that in the NFL they pay you they pay you as you go? Is that how they want to do it? Nah, that's not how they want to do it. That's just what happens, right? You get paid during the season, but that's because of the collective bargaining agreement that is set up between the union and the owners. There is no union for players. And there are really no rules around when and how you pay NIL collectors, and there certainly isn't any transparency on this stuff. So while I could say, yeah, all right, maybe you are thinking they're paid, why are they playing? To which I'd say my pride, my competition, the mere fact that I don't want you in the comments dragging my name through the mud because you think that I'm not out here giving my damnedest. And that's what the money has really done for college football. It has really made fans cynical about what they can expect from their football teams. For whatever reason, fans have always thought that players were playing for the love of the university or for the scholarship, when that ain't true. They plan to get to the NFL. And in between that, if they can get some money underneath the table, all the better. Now that money's over the top of the table, and we sliding it in bukus. And people are going, what am I paying for? Well, you could say that about any profession in the world. College football is no different than that. And we know this because they will send you into the portal if you are not producing. And even before the portal, it was a known fact that your national letter of intent was an annual contract. It was renewed every year. There was no guarantee you get to stay for 4 years. None of that. If they don't like you, they don't bring you back. Now, what I think you're going to find more of is they're going to try to build in ways in which you have to meet certain measurables to get your money. But if it's a marketing deal and it's not a playing deal, is that even legal? And this is why you're seeing more people want to go toward, all right, forget it. Let's just make them employees so that we can make all of this contractual and above the table instead of giving them glorified marketing contracts to play football. I understand why you might feel the way you feel about that. But for now, the situation is the situation. And nobody at Florida State would be complaining about paying $12 million to anybody on that football team if they were 2-0 and ranked inside the top 10. It's a fact of the matter. You want to get what you paid for. In this case, Florida State does not feel like it's getting what it paid for. And because it doesn't feel like it's getting what it's paid for, everybody is on edge. Nobody is happy in Tallahassee right now. Nobody. They're suing the ACC, and the ACC going, come with it. We got you. You locked in here with us, right? And then they go lose these games, and now you're looking at Georgia Tech and Miami being among those at the top of the ACC. You know what I'm saying? Well, no, just Georgia Tech, because I'm thinking about conference games now, because Miami played Florida. That ain't no conference game. That's an out-of-conference game. It's all topsy-turvy, right? But it'll sort itself out throughout the year. What's not going to sort itself out is Florida State getting in the college football playoff. I feel very confident saying they're not, no, not with these two losses. Not if they ever run the table. oh, man, no, because if they won the ACC championship, they would get in. But I just don't see that happening because you got to qualify to get in the ACC championship, number one, and you already 0-1 in conference games. And, no, excuse me, 0-2 in conference games. BC is a conference game. I keep forgetting about BC being in. Man, look, it's tough. It's tough if you're a Florida State fan, and my heart goes out to you. It really does, because it doesn't feel like it was that long ago that you was raising the national championship, because it wasn't. It was just 11 years ago. Man, Jimbo Fisher putting a whammy on Florida State and Texas A&M. Putting the voodoo on them. My goodness. Yikes.